The monthly profit of your business seems to follow a sine curve that repeats itself 3 times. Your initial profit is $2,000, and at the beginning of each year, the most profit you ever make is $10,000. So, if the most or highest this is going to get is $10,000, and you're starting at $2,000, let's go by 2,000. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I would know that's $10,000. And maybe label that as $2,000. I'm going by 2,000s. And then second of all, it's his monthly profit, so wouldn't this be months? And you should know that 12 months in a year, so let's put 12 there. So halfway would be 6. Half of 6 would be 3. Just get as many numbers as we can. Half between 6 and 12, you should probably think of 9. And we'll probably need some more in a little bit. But for now, we have months by profit, and we're going to graph this to answer these 3 questions. Now, our initial profit is $2,000. So can I put a first dot right there? Yeah. And then I also know my maximum profit is $10,000. And I know it's a sine curve. So a sine curve, do you understand a sine curve looks like this? That's what a sine curve looks like. So I know it's going to start here, and it's going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. Got it? So won't this be my midline? I'm going to be revolving around this number. Ooh. And how many cycles does it have? 3. So do you see that I'm going to have this shape 3 times? Does that help you find your period? How many months would one period be if I have 3 of these in 12 months? Wouldn't you take 12 months and divide 3 separate ones? So can you tell that would be 4 months? Can you tell that every period I would have this graph recycling every 4 months to get 3 graphs in a 12-month period? But what is your amplitude? That's a little tricky. Now, I want to find the amplitude. I know every 4 months I'll have this graph. So at 4 months, which is probably right about here, is it okay if I put 4 and 5? That's probably 4 right there. So what you should realize here, let's do red actually. If you have a sine graph, it looks like this, up, down, up. So when I have a graph that looks like this, between those dots, because at 4 months it's going to recycle. And isn't the highest point going to be 10? So right here in the middle, won't my highest value be 10? And won't that be at 1? Can you see that? At 1, will you get your highest value of 10,000? Okay, now don't connect the graphs, dots, because there's no value between these dots. We'll talk about that. But, so right here in the middle here at 3, at month 3, won't you also drop down? Now real quick, don't we need our amplitude? What's the distance from 2,000 to 10,000? We can tell that's $8,000. So if I went 8,000 up, don't I also have to go 8,000 down? Which means I got to keep my increments. Can you tell 8,000 down would be at 6,000, negative $6,000? See, I go up to 8, up 8,000, back down 8,000, down 8,000, up 8,000. See how it just keeps going back and forth, 8,000 on the midline. Can you keep that pattern going? Yeah. So right here, we want to go back up 8,000. Then back down 8,000 to the midline. All right, then down 8,000 again. And back up. Up 8,000. Back down. Back down. Do not connect the dots. The reason you cannot connect the dots is this. It's kind of a little confusing, but if this is monthly profit, doesn't that represent how much you made at the end of the month? Does it say anything about what we made within the month? Like on the 4th, 5th, 6th day, do we know the profits? Do I know any values between each of these months? No. All I know is the exact monthly value, so all I can technically put are these dots. If you fill in the line with a continuous graph, you're technically adding dots that aren't there. We only know these specific discrete dots. It's called discrete, where it's not continuous graph. It's something that's a little confusing. But for now, can you technically see the shape through the dots? Can you answer these 3 questions, hopefully? Now, what is your average profit over the whole year? The average is the midline. So it's always going to be the midline is your average profit. And you can tell here it's $2,000. Right down the middle. Up, down, up, down. It's right in the middle. Now, what month do you get your average profit? Well, you can see here at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Now, let's say those in a neat way. Are you okay? The first one is on 2, which is February. Yeah. And then wouldn't it be every other month after? Yeah. Every other month after. Why put every single month? Why don't you say every other month after? There's other ways to abbreviate it. Just make sure you have the dates and everything like that. Next, which months do you get the lowest profit? The lowest profit are these spots right here, which would be 3, 7, and 11. 3 is January, February, March. And then the 7 is July. And the 11th is November. Those would be the lowest profit spots. You could ask for highest profit, lowest profit, and so forth.